There's this invisible force that's kind of dragging down so many of the apps and services we use every single day. It's called legacy technology. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see why updating it is one of the biggest, most important challenges in the digital world. And most importantly, what it all means for you. So, have you ever opened up, say, a banking app and it just feels like a time capsule from another decade? Or, you're trying to use a website and it's just painfully slow and clunky? Well, that's not just a case of bad design. It's usually a symptom of a much, much deeper problem. And that deeper problem, it actually has a name: Legacy System Modernization. And it's not just about giving an app a fresh coat of paint. No way. It's a complete fundamental overhaul. Seriously, think of it less like redecorating your kitchen and more like rebuilding the entire foundation of your house. So you might be asking, why would any company want to take on such a massive project? Well, because sticking with old technology isn't just an annoyance. It's actually pretty dangerous. Let's dig into some of those invisible risks. Okay, first up, there's operational risk. Just imagine a critical system that's built on some ancient computer code that maybe only a handful of people on the entire planet still understand. When that system breaks, and trust me, it will break, it can cause these huge outages and cost an absolute fortune to fix. It's a ticking time bomb for sure. Then you've got performance. See, old tech was built for a totally different world. It's kind of like a two-lane country road trying to handle big city rush hour traffic. It just wasn't designed for millions of people using it all at once, which is exactly why you get those frustratingly slow load times. And this one is huge. Security. Cyber threats are evolving every single day, right? But these old systems are like castles with crumbling walls. They can't handle modern security patches, which leaves them wide open to attack. On top of that, they often violate modern data privacy laws, which can create some massive legal headaches. And maybe the most frustrating risk of all is that old tech basically acts like a giant anchor. Companies can't roll out cool new features or connect with modern tools like AI because their main system is just too rigid. Innovation just grinds to a complete halt. So the risks are pretty clear, right? Just sticking with the old way of doing things really isn't an option anymore. And that brings us to the solution, a full-scale modernization effort. But what does that actually look like? Well, the transformation is just night and day. You're basically moving from a system that's a constant drain on time and money to one that actually helps the business grow. All those high costs, the constant risks, the slow progress, they get replaced with efficiency, strong security, and the ability to innovate really fast. And these aren't just abstract benefits for some big company. This whole modernization thing is what lets a business build a foundation that's ready for the future. For you, that means more reliable services, way better protection for your personal data, and it gives them the power to build the next generation of tools we're all going to rely on. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how does a huge organization actually pull off something this complicated? It really does sound like trying to change the engine of a plane while it's in midair. But believe it or not, there is a clear, manageable process. The key here is to avoid total chaos. It has to be a disciplined journey. It all starts with a really deep assessment. You have to know exactly what you're working with before you start messing with it. Then comes the really delicate surgery of upgrading and migrating everything over. And only then, once that new foundation is solid, can the full transformation go live, with constant support to keep it running smoothly. This all might still feel a little bit abstract, so let's bring it into the real world. Where does all this behind-the-scenes work actually show up in your daily life? Well, the answer is pretty much everywhere. Let's start with banking. Get this, many of the world's biggest financial institutions are still running on core systems that were written in programming languages from the 1960s. Yeah, really. For them, modernization isn't just a nice to have, it's a matter of survival. So when your bank modernizes, it means you get faster payments, much better mobile apps, and way more sophisticated fraud detection to keep your money safe. It's really the engine that powers a secure and seamless digital banking experience. Now let's move on to healthcare, where the stakes are quite literally life and death. In this field, system reliability isn't about convenience, it is all about patient safety. In a hospital setting, modernization means doctors can pull up your electronic health records instantly and securely. It means those patient portals are actually easy to use, and all the different systems can finally talk to each other, which leads to better, faster care for everyone. And let's take a look at retail. I mean, the way we all shop has totally changed, and the tech behind the scenes has had to race to keep up with us. You ever wonder how a store knows that its online inventory is perfectly in sync with what's actually on the shelf? Yep, that's modernization. It powers everything from the tap-to-pay machine at the counter to making sure your online order gets processed correctly and shipped to you on time. So, when you boil it all down, legacy system modernization is this massive, absolutely essential process. It's about tearing down the old, brittle foundations of our digital world and replacing them with something strong, secure, and ready to support whatever innovations are coming tomorrow. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought, doesn't it? This process, it never really stops. The cutting-edge, super-fast cloud service that you love to use today is inevitably going to be the legacy system of tomorrow. The only question is, what's going to come next?